Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out. His own basement. The world according to Rocket.
Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? You have to pardon my appearance tonight. I have been moving all day, and I just moved at 4:30 over to my new location because the landlords won't fix the air conditioner. So I said, I ain't giving you any more money. I'm out. So Crawdad Watson on the tackle. Really, Crawdad, that's the best name in the world, man. That's a 1957. That's a 1957 linebacker name, brother. How y'all doing? Hey, Zachary Whitfield. I just moved about 5 miles from where I was. I'm still down the Destin area. Technically, I'm in Mary Esther, Florida at the moment. And get this, I'm living with a Texas fan. But they were kind of our best friend this week, weren't they? They kind of beat the crap out of Alabama, didn't they? How y'all doing? No, I'm still in enemy territory. I'm still in enemy territory. Hey, it's football time in Tennessee. I tell you, I got some flack today. I knew I was going to get some flack. I'm going to read you these comments about my video today on Joe. Now, if y'all have watched this show, and you have, for any length of time, you know I'm a huge Joe fan, and I want nothing but the best for Joe. But I just think it's interesting, this whole QBR thing. I'm going to start it out by, I'm going to close my window here, and I'm going to, we are going to have a hell of a game this weekend. It's really going to be interesting to see what happens with this game. I am so interested in it. I just want to read you some of these comments here, because they're just, some of them are spot on, some of them are whack. And if you hear music in the background, what can I tell you? My bad. I can't do anything about it. So here are some of the comments. I'm going to get to Bob Franken in a little while. Ken no to SZ, one bad game and you're ready to throw Joe off the cliff. No, I'm not. I didn't say that at all. You didn't watch the video, clearly. There should be a QBR for the coach's play calling in that game. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. Very conservative game plan. Joe will be fine. Nico is nowhere near ready, and Gaston Moore looks better in practice. I don't have a problem with Gaston Moore. From what I've seen from Gaston Moore, I have a lot of confidence in him. Tennessee will drain the swamp and skull drag it dry. Everyone will realize the QBR is a statistic you should never bet on. Die-hard Tennessee fans know the game. Only bandwagon fans are screaming Nico because they can't even identify what plays are being ran. That's run. And Coach Hype knows what he's doing. Just sit back and enjoy. Enjoy the wins, no matter how ugly they are. Most of that I agree. Please don't lump me in there with bandwagon fans. You know nothing about me if you think I'm a bandwagon fan. I've been on this planet 7 decades, rooting for the Vols. I know a lot about the Vols. I am not a bandwagon fan. I have a lot of respect for that QBR thing. The QBR is important, and it's a metric that needs to be paid attention to as far as a trend. And that was the whole point of doing that video today, was to have a look at the trend right? Crawdad Watson had a comment today. The best QBs don't get a 36 QBR in any game. I 100% agree with that. 100% with that. I've never had faith. This is D. Hurt. I've never had faith in Milton. He's too inaccurate and doesn't make the right decisions about which receiver to throw it to. But I think Nico needs more time to learn. Fair enough. That might be 100% correct. Vape, right? Vape. I would say Coach will try his damnedest to let Joe run it. I agree he's going to. And he should. Joe has earned that, right? But we are 2 games into the season now, and at what point, and that's the point of the video, at what point does he have to earn to stay out there, right? Somebody made that comment earlier today, and I thought it was spot on. Nico has to earn his way on the field, but at some point in this season, if we're playing for the high stakes, if we're playing for the East, if we're playing for the SEC, if we're playing to try to get in the playoffs, he has to improve. He cannot be an average quarterback. And right now, whether you agree with statistics, he's an average quarterback. And that's the value in that QBR. And I guarantee you they're having this very same conversation. Blocksville, Tanakee, one of my favorite names ever. I'm afraid this year is going to be a wasted year with people ready to go down with the sinking ship because they got too emotionally attached to Joe succeeding even if he can't. Interesting take. Nico has that it factor, and his high school head coach, Coach Bryce Young, said he's a carbon copy, and he's 100% sure Nico is going to win the Heisman. Hopefully Joe just gets back to the Orange Bowl level, at least so he doesn't hurt us this year, but the future with not letting Nico getting any real game experience against cupcake teams. Yeah, I thought that was weird. It's so weird to me that fans are so attached to Joe that they don't want their superstar quarterback. Wow. That's a great take. Excellent take. Blocksville, he went on to say, I wasn't really looking at my phone, so if I messed up a whole bunch of words, sorry. And then Ken said, hey, Blocksville, that was a long red light. Funny. Fishers of Men. Man, we got some great people at this channel. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. You can forgive me. You can forgive being off a little on throws. That's if you're doing other things well, like scrambling. Joe doesn't either well. Sometimes you can't fix broken things. You got to get a new one. The biggest issue with Joe is that he's unwilling to run. He hates to run. He is soft when running. He does not know when or how to run, and it's so painful to watch. But the casual Vol fan does not see it. They think people are hating on him for no good reason. Look, critiquing somebody, and we've all been around a lot of football, right? I mean, most of us know what's up, and most of us can see instincts, right? And that's why I love the QBR thing, because it really does speak to instinct and speaks to context in a quarterback's play. Michael says, Florida will be a major test. If I were the coach and Milton continues this decline, I would put Nico in for a couple of series. The point is to win the game. You may earn the starting position, but you must earn the right to remain in the game as well. That's the one I was talking about earlier. That's a great comment. Chuck Fisher, down in the 901. He dropped a deuce and still won. What? What does that even mean? Jonathan Cross, can the wide receivers and O-line bounce back? There's no question about that. There's absolutely no question. There were drop balls. There were bad calls. And the O-line let some people back in there that they shouldn't have let them back in there. There's no question about that. The problem is he still has an accuracy issue. So there you go. That's just some of the comments we got from the video today. I'll get back to more. Let me go grab here some of the comments in the chat here. Man, you guys are killing it with that. Where you been, Crawdad Watson? That's for the love. Thanks for the love. We're going to have a hell of a game this weekend. Yes, sir. I'm good. I didn't say anything bad, did I? Mead Drinker. Milton isn't getting any help from his receivers. 100%. 100% with you. They kind of screwed him at the Virginia game, and they screwed him this weekend. But that's not. He's got to overcome that. He's playing a Division II team that Southern Illinois scored 49 points on. We scored 30. That's unacceptable. Zachary, 72-13. Volunteers win against Florida. Okay, I'll take that. Crawdad Watson on the tackle. Does Halsley call up Alex Golish for advice? Oh, man, that's cold. That's cold. TriStar, thank you for being here. Everybody is getting overworked. How the offense has looked. Trust the team. They'll splatter the walls with Florida's blood. Well, wow. That's impressive. I like that idea. I hope you're right, TriStar. Crawdad, Tennessee has no bandwagon fans. Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, they got some beat up fans. They're disappointed fans because of what we've gone through the past 20 years. We haven't won a game in Gainesville, Florida in 20 years. 20, count them. That's more than I can count on one hand. Jonathan Campbell, thank you for being here. Big game this week. Coach Hype gets things on track this week. We dog walk Florida 45-24. Man, I hope you're right. TriStar, Bradley County is probably winning the state this year. You know what? I was born in Bradley County. A lot of people don't know that, but I used to go, as a little boy, my daddy used to, I was there from the first year of my life. And hang on a second. Holy crackers, Crawdad, I didn't see the super chat. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just now saw that. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Everybody, including the coaches, knew what we were getting with Joe. I think Hypo made a mistake by not going into the transfer portal. I don't think so. I think we're okay. I love Gaston. I want to say Gaston Moore is his name, right? Or is Gaston... I get Gaston Moore confused with Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. Don't hate me. Thank you, Crawdad, for the super chat. You're a fine human being. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, where are we going here? Bradley County. I was talking about Bradley County. My daddy used to take me. We were in Memphis. I think we moved to Memphis from Cleveland when I was like one and a half, a couple of years old or something like that. And my daddy, when I was a little boy, man, we would drive all the way from Memphis. And that wasn't no easy drive from Memphis to Bradley County back in the covered wagon days, right? It was a long drive. And, man, it would be so cold, and we would go see the Bradley County Bears. My daddy was such a huge fan of the Bradley County Bears. He grew up in an orphanage over there in Murphy, North Carolina, and somehow, I don't even know where Murphy, North Carolina is, but I know it's close to Bradley County because that's how my daddy got crazy for the Bradley County Bears. And he would take me and we would sit out and just shiver and have blankets and winter coats. And I'll never forget it. The first time I ever drank hot chocolate out of a thermos. Y'all daddy, you and your daddy do that? It was great, man. It was great. So I have a real fond place in my heart for the Bradley County Bears. Anyway. Stingray, hey Rocket Man, a little late, not a problem. How are you, sir? Thank you for being here. Milton, mead drinker Milton has 0 interceptions at Tennessee, 100%, and that is awesome, and it's not to go unnoticed or uncommented upon. I'm constantly commenting on that. Ken Boland, thank you for being here. So Joe does remind me of Anthony Richardson. Has all the talent in the world, but very inconsistent. If he blows this opportunity this week, I think Heupel will give the keys to Nico. I hope I am wrong. Great take. Here's my feeling on that. I don't know why I think that. I just have a feeling that if Nico even hints at the little passes over the middle that he was missing bad. He was missing them bad. I mean, over here and over here. I mean, behind. I mean, he was missing them bad. If that happens like in a series or two, I think they will give him a shot. I think they will put Nico in there. I do. I think they will. And I hope you're wrong as well. Let's see here. Where am I? I lost my. I was wait a minute. I lost myself here. Yeah. Okay. Now I find myself back here. Okay, Jonathan Campbell. Coach Hype sees something special in Joe. He just needs to calm down and settle in. If he does, we win big. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Look, I want Joe to win the Heisman. I'm just saying, it was an eye-opener to me to realize the disparity in Hendon Hooker, his numbers, and Joe's numbers. I mean, they are. It's not about passes and completions and no interceptions. It's more than that at this level. There's a nuance to it. That adjusted QBR is pretty informative because it gives context with the plays. Okay. Blocksville, Tennessee. I was hoping Nico could get some experience, but Joe is more important. Ebo, 247. Joe will cost us at least one game before we pivot to Nico. You think so? Maybe. Crawdad, Watson on the tackle. I've done some work in Covington, Tennessee. Tornado took out our warehouse. My mama's folks are from Covington, Brighton, and Atoka. So I got people on my daddy's side. I got people on my mama's side tonight. Awesome. I saw Nico in the Polynesian Bowl looking awesome with his black visor, being an elusive. He looked like Blade Runner, right? I want to see him, man. I want to see him out there. I'm sorry. I just want to see him. I don't want to get rid of Joe. But at some point, there's got to be a decision made. If he continues to be a 50 QBR guy, I'm sorry. I just want to see what Nico can do. And I would rather see it at a, what's the word I'm looking for? At a voluntary option as opposed to involuntary. Do you know what I mean? Like an emergency situation. Ebo, maybe I missed conversation earlier, but you Bradley County Bears now have two of our best 2024 class defensive backs. I did not know that. Crawdad Watson on the tackle. Willie Martinez has to go if they don't improve. They were pretty bad, weren't they? It looked like last year. Oh, my God. Actually, it looked like 2 years ago, that backfield. Oh, Christ. It was horrible. Some of it was horrible, but I thought it was going to end up being like that Georgia State game for a minute there. And I was at that game, and I wanted to go somewhere and commit Harry Carey. Zachary Whitfield, Bazooka Joe knows what he has to do. Hence the players only meeting. Okay, now I've been moving the past 2 or 3 days. I wanted to do the video that I did today yesterday, but my darling landlord won't fix the stupid air conditioning, and I'm out. So I've just been crazy busy since the game. But now I'm in a lovely home, and I'm ready for the home. That's what I feel like. Oh, crackers. Okay, so Blocksville, 50% of Joe's passes were behind the line of scrimmage during the Austin P game. They were, and the other 50% were behind the receivers. I'm lying. That's not fair. But and there were some drops, but no, I'm sorry. Come on, Joe. Joe's got to do better. Joe's got to be a better than average quarterback. Right now, he kind of sniffed that in the Virginia game. Had a little nasty spell there, but I felt great going into the game Saturday night. I felt great about him, and I still feel I feel iffy about him. I don't know what to think about Joe right now. I really don't, and I love the guy. I wish nothing but the best. Jenny Van, thank you, Jenny, for being around. I think people are being too hard on Joe. We can't just throw Nico out there. Why? I'll wait. Come on, Jenny. Educate me. Why can't we put him out there? Oh, I forgot. Jenny doesn't have a microphone. All right. But I'll wait to let you type a response. Mead Drinker. If indeed Nico isn't ready and they put him out there, and he has a Nathan Peterman type game, it'll ruin him. Maybe. I just don't think he's going to have that kind of game. I remember when Don Helton, is it Don Helton? Who's a famous baseball player from Tennessee? Is it Helton? I can't remember his name. Fine left-handed quarterback. He got hurt, and they run a freshman out there and named Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. He was up for the task. I think Nico's up for the task as well. Nico is up for the task. I just don't want to crush Joe in the process. Oh, thank you, Crawdad. Slap that like button like it was your girlfriend's bottom. Or Doji Money, one or the other. Jenny Van, thank you. I promise you, Joe is probably harder on him. Nobody's trying to be hard on him, Jenny. I love the guy. I want nothing more than, I would love him to win the Heisman. I would like for him to be the number one pick in the draft. I'm just saying he ain't going in the draft if he doesn't get those QBR numbers up. Todd Helton, thank you. Don Helton was a kid I went to school with. Todd Helton, thank you. Todd Helton was a hell of a quarterback for the Vols. I don't know whether any of y'all are old enough to remember that or not, but he was awesome. And he got hurt. And guess who they ran out there? Number 16, a freshman. And he never looked back. Jenny Van, he is young, and the swamp is a hostile environment. The swamp? Hostile? Jenny, where are you getting your information? Can't go off a bowl at high school and play it. Hey, look, I'm on your side, Jenny. I don't want to destroy the kid, but it's a next man up kind of thing. If Joe can't, let me ask you, Jen, if we're down 14-0 in the middle of the third quarter and Joe has not done well, do you put Nico in or not? Answer that for me. Hi, Ricky Jones. Good evening to you. I think Joe has to be on a very short leash Saturday. If he doesn't produce, we have no choice but to put Nico in. Maybe so. Zachary, you're right. Todd Helton played quarterback for Tennessee, and then he went on to the Rockies and became a Hall of Famer. Michael D, 8 million says Nico is ready. You're right. And I'm sure that what's the group that Spire, whatever it is, that Spire group that puts all the NIL deals together? I'm sure that they're going, Everyone is hard on him. The comment was directed at you. So you think I'm being hard on Joe, Jenny? Is that what you're saying? I'm not trying to be hard on him at all. I was just surprised that his QBR was so low. And we will not have a successful campaign with any quarterback having a 50 or a 51, 15.9 QBR. That just doesn't, well, here's a good time to show you what I'm talking about. Look here. What I have after week 2, check this out now. Look at this. Put a lot of work into this. After week 2, these are our remaining games. All right. Wegman from Texas A&M, 89.5. That's his QBR after week 2. Milroe from Bama, 76.8. And he lost, right? Spencer Ratliff coming into Tennessee in a couple of weeks, 74.4. Brady Cook, Missouri, 64.8. Beck from Georgia, 61.2. Swan from Vandy, 56.7. All of these people are statistically, QBR-ically, better than Joe. Even the UConn guy is almost at the same level as Joe, and this scares me as well, that Harris quarterback from UTSA. Now, the good thing that we have going on, the hope that we have, is that Mertz, the quarterback from Florida, is way worse than Joe is performing at this point. He's at a 40. And, jeez, I mean, that's horrible. So I am optimistic that Joe has a fairly good chance to redeem himself this weekend as a result of what happened last weekend, because that was horrible. That should not have happened in that situation. I think Crawdad Watson on the tackle said earlier, nobody should be at 36 against a team like Austin Peay. A good quarterback, or let's say a great quarterback, and certainly an elite quarterback, will never happen, right? And so we got a potential problem there. I'm not saying it's a problem yet. I'm just saying we need to look at that. And you need to look at those numbers when they come out after the game and see where he was. And then Leary at Kentucky is, after 2 games, he's like 37th. I mean, Joe is at 50. He's tied with the guy from UConn. Harris is 92nd, 98th, 100. And look at all these guys up here, right? We got to play these guys. That's what has my panties in a knot. Holy crackers. Come on, man. All right. Let me go back. Y'all have a look at that while I catch up on these. Nico's high school head coach is the same as Bryce Young, and he says Nico is so special. He's ready whenever they say he's ready. He said he's just like Bryce Young, and he's also going to win the Heisman. Yeah. Zachary Whitfield, Joe doesn't lose in Florida. Market 72 to 13. Zachary's got some of that shine going on under the table. You need to share that with the rest of us, Zachary. Ebo, I agree 100%. Rocket, we all love Joe, but we can't pretend that Joe isn't snake bit. I don't want to say snake bit. I'm just saying we run the risk of pulling for him so much. We want him to do so well, and I'm wondering if the coaches are doing the same thing. That's a reasonable ask, isn't it? Or am I just out in the weeds somewhere? Ebo goes on to say, we all want to see him elevate his game, but yes, above average play is required in the vertical passing game. Absolutely it is. Me Drinker, the only deep ball we have thrown was on the money, and it was dropped. You're right. He struggled after that. That was a momentum killer. You're right. What if Keaton hadn't caught that pass last year? Yes, but that pass was thrown by Hendon. Now, and let me give you a context on what we're talking about tonight, what I wanted to talk about tonight in Hendon. Do you know what Hendon's QBR was? 89. I think it was 89.5, like Wegman's is. But Hendon, that was over the whole season. He was number 2 in that metric. only behind Jalen Edwards. I think it's Jalen Edwards. Somebody check that name for me for Kansas. And he had like a 91, but he only had that over half of the games, over half of the plays. Hendon Hooker had 500 plays, 495 or something like that. And this Kansas quarterback had 250, about half, right? So essentially, Hendon Hooker had the best QBR rating in the country over the season. 89. It only goes to 100. And we're way. And I even did the math on that for Joe. Now, Jenny, be nice to me. I'm not being mean. I'm just being thorough. For Joe to finish where Hendon was, he would have to score 100 in the next 9 games. And that would only bring him to 83 for the season. And I'm not saying, oh, Joe's bad. I'm just saying, my God. Hendon Hooker was really amazing. He was one of those players like Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. He was one of those players that got shit done in the clutch. That's what the QBR is. It gauges your play in the context of what you do and how that contributes to scoring a point or a touchdown or whatever, right? And that's why it has suddenly become very interesting and important in my world. And I promise you, there are people talking about it on Rocket Top, and not the fans. All right, let me get back here to Ebo. And Zachary, I like your attitude. 72-13. I'm down, man. I'm down. I'm there with you. I just hope you're right. I hope you're more right than me. Ebo, I agree 100% Rocket. We all love Joe. Snake. Okay, I got that one. The only deep ball, Jenny Van. Yes, I think we would have to, but if we put Nico and it doesn't get better. But what if we put Nico, it doesn't get better? Well, everybody knows that Nico is a freshman and that he's going to have some stumbles along the way. Everybody understands that. We all understand that. We're grown-ups. Even Nico understands that. Even the coaches understand that, right? That's why we have Gaston Moore back there, right? I mean, we always have Joe. See, Joe, here's the thing. Joe is a safe bet, right? Joe is not going to throw any interceptions. But for the first time, I am concerned, and I'm not 100% sure he will become an elite quarterback. That's all I'm saying. And I want to see him become that. But right now, based on what I'm seeing, look at these numbers here from these players. This guy at Texas A&M is elite. Even Milroe is elite. Spencer Ratliff, and I can't stand that bastard. He's elite. Brady Cook, pretty good. I mean, back at Georgia, he's not tearing it up. Okay. Bloxville. I'm going to freak the F out when we try to throw 49% passes behind the line of scrimmage again. Yeah, it has to be vertical. Now, I got a bunch of comments on my video, not only on this one today, but in previous videos, that, he's doing that because he's just not showing the offense. That's possible. I get that, and that's possible. But I said about last week's game in a couple of the videos, I said, I want to see Mr. Thornton, Dante Thornton Jr., flying down the field on the go route and just getting used to seeing that. Let Florida see that. And Coach Hype is talking about, well, they're not giving the stats, so we're going to take what they're given. But if you miss the pass, that's not taking what you're given, right? That's missing what you're given, and that's my point. Do you think Coach Hype, Jonathan Campbell, do you think Coach Hype and the staff has a certain criteria for pulling Joe, or is he all in on Joe? I have no idea. I have no idea of knowing that. I mean, it would just be a guess, speculation. I don't know. He's a loyal guy. Heupel is a very loyal guy to his kids, and I admire that about him. Everybody talks about what a family guy he is. And once you're in the family, you're in the family, right? I get that. But I can't answer that. Let's see. I keep y'all are moving so fast here, and there's so many of you. I appreciate y'all being here. By the way, if you haven't smacked that like button, what are you waiting on? I mean, just go ahead and smack it, just like it owed you money. My money. What's the matter with you? Jenny Van is typing too fast again. What's the matter with you, Jenny Van? Blocksville, I was working in the hurricane winds during the Polynesian Bowl. Mead drinker. Do you think Nico is facing the same kind of defenses in the SEC as he did? Yeah, sure he is. No, but you know what he is facing? He is facing a pretty improved SEC defense every day, right? And I say that qualified. I thought they were improved, man. You couldn't tell it the other night. Sheesh. Holy crackers. I wonder if Nico can go faster than Joe instead of looking over the sidelines forever. That was the whole thing. There's just it just seemed the energy, it's just not the same, and all we have to compare it to is to Hendon, and it just doesn't move as quickly. Now, we'll also have to keep in mind that we got a new guy up there in the booth, Coach Halsley. And as brilliant as he is, I don't know, maybe he's just not, there's got to be some kind of learning curve for him as well. Right? Let's see who we got here. Buck Fleming. Joe, thank you for being here, Buck. Appreciate you. Joe is a leader of this team. I believe he will step up this weekend. I hope you're right. I want him to be the leader of the team, and I want him to step up this weekend. I'm down. Blocksville, hopefully during the Florida game, we got a whole bunch of those Orange Bowl crossing routes drawn up. Mead drinker, I was just saying, that was a crucial catch, and we caught our footing after that. Hooker also overthrew that pass. Why? Because he was stretched out 4 yards catching? Michael D., if baseball pitchers' game is off, they go to the bullpen. If Milton is off, it's time to bring Nico up. Boy, that is a sober thought, Michael D. That is an excellent thought. Yeah, and there's no disgrace in that, and there's no shame in that. Wow, I never thought of that. I 100% agree with you, Mike. Thank you. No, I lost you. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? I've got so many people in here tonight, and the vibe is so moving. Okay, the baseball. Okay, there you go. Mead drinker, what was T. Martin's QBR compared to Manning's in college? I'm going to go look that up. I don't know. I'm going to go look that up. Typically, the players that can extend the play and get the ball down the field, either with their feet or with their arm, and get them into scoring position, those typically are the higher QBR players, because that's what QBR is based on. How important are you to your team when the plays that you make to help them score more points. That's the whole point of the QBR. And Manning could certainly do that. Josh Dobbs could certainly do that. By the way, did anybody see the Cardinals play this weekend? I was moving. How did he do? I knew he started for the Cardinals. Did he do all right? I hope so. Jenny Van, we need to let Hendon go just like we had to let Manning go. Jenny, you leave my Hendon out of this. We're just comparing the two. You have to look at what has worked. Jenny, like peas and carrots. Jenny, you have to look at what's worked. Hendon had the formula with those receivers, and he had the vibe and the energy. There's some energy that's missing with Joe, and I don't know what it is. I'm not saying I know what it is. I'm not even saying it's Joe. Could be, could not be. I do know, though, when Nico came into that Virginia game for a minute, that place, it sounded like Neyland. That place went nuts. Did you see that? I mean, it was crazy. He brought an energy to that game that was not there prior to it. And he promptly took them down and scored. So, just saying. Until I start seeing former players saying he needs to cut Joe, I will support him. Look, we are all supporting him, Jenny. Come on, honey bunny. What the hell, man? We're not supporting him. We're talking football. How you doing, Sean? At least he gets experience for next year instead of nothing because Joe struggles during the cupcake games. Zachary Whitfield. Tennessee wins the Natty in January with Joe as their QB. Zachary's bringing the 72-13, and he's bringing the Natty in January. Zachary, I'm going to give you some love, man. I hope you're right. I'm down, man. I'm down. Seriously. Oops. Blocksville. I don't think we're going to win a Natty. It's going to be a wasted year. Okay. Mead drinker. Thornton got benched after his drops and was never put back in. He was brought in to make plays. Ball hit him right in the hands. True. Blocks. He's still not accurate after all this time, and some things you just can't teach. There is, I've been meaning to put this out here on the channel just so you could see it. There's a guy who is an NFL coach. He doesn't coach for a team. He's a consultant. He's a quarterback consultant, and he has a YouTube video about Joe on, and it was very enlightening to me. And he didn't destroy Joe or he didn't put him down in any way, but he talked about some of the pitfalls of Joe, and it kind of opened my eyes for a few things because we've all been enamored and seduced by this whole Joe and Hendon thing, and now the Joe and the Nico thing. We've all been there, but at some point you have to address the inaccuracy thing, and it's still there. He's not missing people 40 yards down the field by overthrowing them 10 yards like he used to when he came in. He's not doing that. He's fixed that. But he still has those little, the ball should be right there, and it's right there, right? I mean, anyway. Oh, somebody slapped it. Who's slapping what? Let me know. Tennessee Junior, I slapped it. Got hit back, though. No, you didn't. We didn't hit you back. That was Jenny. Jenny might have smacked you back. She's been kind of cantankerous tonight. She kind of half expect her to whoop my ass. Tennessee Junior, that's where it came from. Damn it, man. Stingray. We got spoiled with Hendon. Well, you ain't wrong. Zachary. Remember, this is week 2, and he still throws for 228 yards. Give the guy a break. We're not breaking him. We're not trying to break him. But they still only scored 30 points. That's not good in this situation. He still only had a 36.2 QBR. That can't happen. We want Joe to be an elite quarterback for his own good, not only for ours, but for his own good. If he goes to the season as a 51 QBR quarterback, he's not going to get drafted. Nobody will touch him. And you can believe that. Mm-hmm. Mead Drinker, that was a beautiful scrambling pass by Joe that Thornton dropped on the sideline. Yeah, it was. Tennessee Junior, we will know what this team is made of Saturday. You're right. This is going to be a great, great test at the right time. Don't you think? Saying that all off-season, so nothing has changed. Let's go smoke some damn gators. Bulldogsville. We can also get spoiled with Nico. And even it's a wasted year because we lose at least Nico. Will be fun to watch and get experience for next year. If we are dropping passes, then that's why this offense is struggling. Thornton and Keaton and McCoy have to make plays. Jonathan Campbell, Internet says Manning is Tennessee's all-time leading passer, 11,201 yards, 87 touchdowns, QBR of 147, and 139 of 45 stats. The QBR, now the QBR, that'll be interesting about Manning to see what his QBR is because the adjusted, I don't know whether that's a QBR, the raw QBR, or is that the adjusted QBR? I don't know. I'd like to track that down and see exactly what that is. Jenny Van, see, people like Bloxville is the people I'm talking about. He wants to take Joe out and put Nico in. I'm sure he was one of the fans chanting for Harrison Bailey. Now, what do you got against Harrison Bailey? Surely you weren't a Garantano fan, were you? Because if you are, I'm just going to ban your ass right now from the channel. Because if you're a Garantano fan, I now know who I'm dealing with. Jeez. But we shouldn't be talking about all that because that was Pruitt. Right? Mead Drinker, overall, this offense will have to gel in the swamp. They just need a big positive play to get the momentum. Yep, that could help. That would certainly help. Ebo, 24/7, 247. It's okay to want a different quarterback to come in and elevate our offense. There is a reason that Joe lost his job at Michigan. There's also a reason that he lost it at Tennessee. He would have lost that job at Tennessee anyway. Because he just wasn't productive. He just wasn't hitting people. Now, he is way better now than he was. Jonathan Campbell, T. Martin was 133.6, but I don't think they were adjusted. Does the swamp still have, this is a good one. I like this, Sean. Thank you. Does the swamp still have the same mystique as the intimidation factor that it used to? We're going to know that this weekend because this is the first time that we've ever gone down there with a chance to win the game. Do you know? I don't think they have a particularly good team. Well, look over here. Look over here at their quarterback's QBR. It's 40. I mean, that's almost in the tank. That's 40 for 2 games. Right? That's almost as bad for 2 games as Joe was in the other game, 36. So, we have the advantage there. We have the advantage with Joe this weekend. We have the advantage. I don't have a problem with that. I think Joe will finish the game. I'm just saying if he doesn't perform well, I would imagine that they'll put Nico in. And it's my opinion, they should. Jenny Van, apparently Harrison isn't doing anything at UNLV. You're right, Jenny. He is actually transferred from UNLV. He didn't get to play at UNLV, and he went somewhere else. And for the moment, I can't remember where that was. Where was it? Think of Rocket Man. Come on. It was kind of a lateral move. Another team, kind of like UNLV. You know. I want to say Arkansas State or something like that. It's not Arkansas State. That's Butch Jones. And please don't wish that on poor Harrison. I loved Harrison Bailey. I thought he was terrific. But, you know, he was a pro drop back passer. You know, he couldn't move. Wasn't very fast, agile. Boy, he could drop a ball in a bucket, though. You know? Mead Drinker. Joe came in 2 months before the season. Still recovering from a broken thumb on his throwing hand from Michigan. That's true. Thank you for reminding me of that. I've forgotten about that. But see, the comment that you made about I trust Josh Heupel, Jenny, if you think Joe is the guy, I'm going with it. I do too. He tried to get Joe forever when Joe was in high school. He tracked Joe down like a blue tick hound. Everywhere he went, he was trying to get Joe, and he finally got him. Right? And he's improved him. He's developed him. We're all on the same side, Jenny. Unless you're a Garantano guy, and then I'm going to ban you. Just on general principle. That's all right. I won't ban you, baby. All right, Sean, the ESPN matchup predictor has you guys 53.8. I thought it would be a lot higher. Yeah, well, I think it opened up at -7, Tennessee. Some people had it at -7. I think it's like -4 now or something, somewhere in that range. Let's have a look at something real quick. Lordy mercy. George Kemp sent me a super thanks. Thank you, George Kemp. You're not even on here tonight, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm back. Had to go look. Yeah, I thought it would have been. I thought it would have been higher than that. No, I don't. I think it's a push. I do. I think it's a push. I do. Let me just check one thing. I'll tell you what it is. Hang on. I mean, what bummed me out was, well, I don't know why it bums me out. It doesn't bum me out because Associated Press is a poopy bear. You know, they dropped them down from 9 or 10 to 12. And that's really important to stay in that top 10. I'm glad in the coaches poll they stayed in the top 10 anyway. But you need to stay with the pack. You need to... You know, it's like a horse race. You don't need to be coming from behind like that. You know, if you're 12 horses from behind, it's hard to come from behind. You need to be up there 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, that's where you need to be so that you can make your move there at the end of the race, right? So, who are we looking at? We're looking at Florida, right? Let me just see a couple of figures here. And I can't see him. I'm not seeing any Florida. There they are. Okay, boom. So they're at a 9-3, 13. So yeah, it's about, it's about a 4-point game right now. And let me see something here. Just want to see their efficiency ratings. You know what? We're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. Because all the metrics opposite people, all the metrics, our offensive efficiency versus their defensive efficiency wins easily. Their defensive efficiency versus our offensive efficiency loses. Joe is at 51 QBR and Mertz is at 40. We win at every predictor. So I am calling it. Hey, Jonathan Campbell, thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. So I am calling it. Okay, I've seen what I needed to see here. Thank you all for kind of inspiring me to search it, and I would have done that earlier or later for a video, but I'm glad I did it tonight. So yeah, okay, I'm going to call it for Florida. I'm going to call it for Tennessee. Yeah, I like it. They win in the important metrics to me. They win. And to Sean's point about does the swamp still have the mystique? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it was hard to tell that the mystique only matters if it's close, right? We've never even been close when we've gone down there. We haven't won in 20 years down there. And we've never even been in close, right? So during that time. So it's hard to know. All right, let me finish this up here and say goodbye and give everybody a high five. Boom, boom, boom. Jenny, the difference between JG and Joe, to me, is former players are pretty vocal about pulling him. I'm not hearing or seeing former players saying pull Joe. Yeah, maybe. Jonathan, thank you for coming. Jenny Van, I just hope Joe goes down to the swamp and proves all the doubters wrong. Hey, look, Jenny, you got to quit taking this personally. There's nothing wrong with evaluating the stats. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you make improvements. Nobody's hating on Joe. I love Joe. Nobody wants him to do well more than I, except maybe his mama and coach. I love the guy. But the guy's got an issue. Blocksville. Everyone's emotionally involved. Yep, they are. They love this guy, and he's so lovable, right? And let me tell you one other thing. His character is so beyond reproach. It's just mind-blowing. His character is so awesome, right? Wow. Love that guy's character. Everyone's mostly involved, wanting Joe to succeed, and hopefully he's just getting his shit together and doesn't have to be pulled, and let our freshmen get a real experience in cupcake games. Okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm good with that. Boom. Hey, did I mention that it's football time in Tennessee? All right, kids, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all, and I'm going to try to do another watch party Saturday night. That was so much fun the past 2 weeks, right? And it keeps growing. You know, we had like 1,000 people view that thing throughout the course of the game. 1,400. It was awesome. Now, of course, we don't show the game, nor do we play the audio. We just are all together like this in the chat in a live environment like this, and we're commenting on the game. It's really funny. It's really fun. Thank you, Blocks. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for being here. Ebo. Evo says, I think Jenny Van is really Joe under a fake name. Are you saying that Jenny is catfishing us? It's Joe, really? And Jenny's catfishing us. Oh, damn, that didn't even occur to me. You are a sick person, Evo. That's funny, though. Michael Kimmerly. Joe had made a statement that he never loses in Florida. Okay, guess we're going to find out. Huh? All right, y'all. Thank you all so much. Crawdad, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Crawdad. Appreciate it. Tennessee Jr., Jonathan Campbell's gone. Ebo, thank you. Mead Drinker, Zachary Whitfield, and your 72-3. Stingray, appreciate you. Who else we got here? Buck Fleming, thank you. That's a new name. Thank you. Appreciate you coming in. And Ricky Jones, of course. And I think that Michael D. And, man, it's been a fun night, y'all. Great job. Thank you all very much. And I will see you in the next video. Probably going to be tomorrow. I think I'm going to have the opportunity to do another TriStar. Thank you. Have the opportunity to do another video tomorrow. Thank you all. Peace out and go Big Orange. We'll continue this conversation. It's going to get more intense before it gets less intense. I'll say that, right? And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for shopping.